Welcome back to At the Forefront. Today we'll be continuing our discussion with the Dallas Area Parkinson Society and Leisha Phipps, their Executive Director, as well as Board Member and Forefront Living Chief Strategy Officer Janelle Bertolino.
Welcome to At the Forefront, where we explore the groundbreaking innovations and developments shaping the future of aging. We're hitting the road to showcase how older adults are embracing change, staying active, and thriving in their golden years. Here's your host, CEO of Forefront Living, Tim Mallett.
As we continue our discussion about resources and programs that are out there, what can a family who is on the Parkinson's journey expect to find? And is journey the right way even to refer to the subject?
Actually, yes. Journey is a really good way to identify someone who's recently been diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. We encourage people to reach out to DAPS and to call our office so that we can help assess and determine what their needs are, where they live, what activities they might be participating in. So with contact with us, we're able to help with that assessment so that we can get people plugged into the areas with the particular resources that, whether it's DAPS provides it or maybe it's another organization that might be able to provide those resources. As
a nonprofit, Forefront Living is committed to being a community resource as well and partnering with other nonprofits to leverage our resources. Janelle, what is Forefront Living doing in this area to be a partner, a good community partner?
Well, at Presbyterian Village North, they just became Parkinson certified organization. And what does that mean? It means that there's specific training as it relates to Parkinson's disease, symptoms, how to treat, and how to help our residents adapt to the disease process. So that all of our teammates will be having that as part of their orientation and training. Parkinson's not only, again, impacts the physical, which typically everyone sees, but it's the emotional, it's the mental, it's the depression, it's the isolation that occurs. And so our teammates have specific training that they'll be able to understand what's really happening and helping that individual, keeping them engaged, understanding, some of the other symptoms that they're going through, particularly as it relates to the depression. And so really excited to be able to offer that. The other big complication I think that occurs that's really impactful is the dining aspect. So individuals with Parkinson's, as we talked about, has decreased in voice projection, but they also have delays in swallowing, or the swallowing becomes more complicated. And food in general doesn't become as satisfying because, number one, they've lost that sense of smell, but also they have more challenges in being able to eat and really enjoy a meal. And so through this program, or through this education and training from our team, they'll be able to make sure that they have the right meals, whether that's small portions or however it's prepared, to be able to help our residents enjoy that great aspect of eating.
Well, I understand we'll be hosting support groups not only at Presbyterian Village North, but also at the Outlook at Windhaven. Can we talk about those groups and the purpose of them?
Yes, so we have specific training and for our residents to participate and help other residents and families that are dealing with Parkinson's today. Just giving them ideas of maybe how they're handling certain complex conversations, situations, really just giving them the support, maybe some recommendations of treatments or just activities that they're participating in that helps other families, and sharing that success.
Do you have to be a resident of either of our two communities to participate in some of the programming or some of the support groups?
It's open to anybody living in the Dallas community at large. Actually, Leisha and I had a conversation about how there's synergies between the DAPS caregiver support and the program that we're offering through Outlook at Windhaven and Presbyterian Village North.
No contact boxing and a video. Tell me about that.
So non-contact boxing has been proven to help people significantly with Parkinson's disease. And so last year in 2024, we were very fortunate in that one of the DAPS medical advisory board members, who is a physical therapist, a local physical therapist, actually created a non-contact boxing training certification for the DAPS exercise leaders. So in December, all of our exercise leaders participated in this program and became certified. So we just began providing these classes in February of this year here in Dallas, and the response has been fantastic. The excitement from all levels of people with Parkinson's has been really inspiring to see people who come in, whether they're in a wheelchair or with a walker or don't need any mobility devices at all, to be able to see the impact of this program with people with Parkinson's is really empowering.
And I'm seeing Janelle smiling widely there. I don't think everybody knows, but a lot of people know that, Janelle, you actually have a background in a physical therapist. So, and I think you're going to want to comment on this, so I'm not even going to ask you a question, I'm just going to let you comment.
Yes, my early career was in physical therapy, and so I've had the pleasure of treating Parkinson's patients, and so that was very rewarding. And also along my journey, my father lived with Parkinson's for about 10 years, and so it was very interesting. It was heartbreaking at times, but he did really live quite well with it. But in the same token, he denied his diagnosis, and so that's why I, became a board member for DAPS to really help people be okay with the diagnosis and understand that there's resources out there to help. And so what happened in my situation, my father didn't take his medications right away. And if he would have, taken those earlier on, maybe it would have changed a little bit. But he did live, a great life with it, but very complicated.
Well, and in our first segment, we talked very much about how Parkinson's not only affects the individual, but has an impact on everyone around them. And I think the importance of giving back and the ability to leverage those stories. And thank you, Janelle, for giving back to our community and inspiring our organization to really invest more with DAPS. Earlier, we talked a lot about programming, and we talked about programs that are available. I understand that there's a monthly schedule of programming for the community. Can we talk a little bit about what that is and what that involves?
Absolutely. So as we mentioned, all of our services are free. So we do not charge or expect any type of payment from anyone who attends. But we make sure that our programs are accessible for not just the person with Parkinson's, but also for care partners. So oftentimes people will go to an exercise class and you'll see a lot of couples there. We just started up a Dance for Parkinson's program back in mid-2024, and that's been really popular for people with Parkinson's and their loved ones as well. But all of our classes and our schedules can be accessed online. Those are updated, as Keisha mentioned, almost on a daily basis, so that people can see if they want to participate in an educational program or if they want to try an exercise class. For those that are a little uncertain, who might be more timid, we really encourage them to check out some of our virtual classes that are also provided all week long as well.
How are you able to provide such high quality programming for no cost?
We do a lot of fundraisers. We certainly have sponsors that help us to provide those services to the public. Donations and fundraisers are a very big source of help and support so that we can continue to do the work that we know that needs to be provided to our community.
Absolutely, and I think that's why we're excited about being a partner with you. Janelle mentioned earlier that her father had a 10-year journey with Parkinson's, and I've used the term journey a number of times in this discussion. What is the average life expectancy of an individual diagnosed with Parkinson's?
This morning on LinkedIn that someone announced that he had been living with Parkinson's for 25 years. We're all familiar with Michael J. Fox, who has now been living with the disease longer than he lived without it. So it really, really varies. However, Parkinson's is not a disease that someone passes away from. So people still live well into their 80s and 90s with the disease. So much of that comes back to how people are managing the disease. When we find that for folks who have a good, solid community that offers them the support and of course the exercise and the educational programs and a doctor that they really trust who typically is a movement disorder specialist, those definitely seem to be folks who are more engaged in their treatment and in their journey, and we do seem to see that those are folks who are living longer and living better with the disease.
I think an undercurrent in this discussion, which is interesting, is the living well aspect. And I've heard a lot about, and we've talked a lot about, the exercise component. Janelle touched briefly on diet. What other things are out there to help someone live well with Parkinson's?
Well, certainly there's a lot of adaptive equipment that is out there to assist with some of the motor function and loss that occurs, compensatory strategies on how to deal with the voice changes. There's a lot of training and work through speech therapists that help with that, because that's definitely something that they do struggle with. So lots of different resources, and again, the continued education and making people aware. There's holistic approaches. We do get a lot of that. I think a question, because the medications, they are very effective, but people want to look at other alternatives. So, and again, it's understanding that their cognitive changes are very different than like someone with Alzheimer's or dementia. So working with a Parkinson's individual with cognitive impairment is a little bit different approaches than it would be for other disease states.
As a nonprofit, you do have a component, and you rely very much on philanthropy, on donations, on support. How does someone contribute to DAPS?
So every year we run our Grow with DAPS annual campaign, and that happens April through May. So we are right in the heart of our annual campaign. Our goal is to raise $30,000, which will go towards helping to provide all of the additional services that we provide across the entire Metroplex. And as we've mentioned, that can be anything from our Dance with PD group, it could be support groups, it could be our educational components, but all of that goes directly to our services, so that it is at no cost to those that are participating.
And if I want to find out more about how I can donate, do you have a link on your website?
We absolutely do, yes, DAPS.org, and you will see a large button that asks if you would like to participate in our campaign.
Well, that's fantastic. And I would like to ask, we've talked quite a bit about the wellness aspect, we've talked about the psychological aspect. We have viewers who are watching right now who are dealing with Parkinson's in their life. Do you have a message to our care partners, to our residents, to our community that each of you would like to give?
Yeah, I think, just again, using the resources and again, going back to our certification at Presbyterian Village North, we've had request of where can I have where's resources to help Parkinson's, because we know that we have memory support services at a lot of our locations, and what people are looking for is that specific support for Parkinson's, which is a little bit different. So I think just, again, understanding what's out there and asking the questions and getting on websites and utilizing the resources that this great community has.
Any Thoughts?
Ditto everything that, of course, Janelle said. I think what makes DAPS special and unique is that we meet people where they are. So for those that might not be ready to completely dive right into some of our face-to-face services, we really encourage people to become active through some of our virtual programs. We're very active on social media, and Keisha, our program director, does a phenomenal job of making sure that the information we provide is helpful, it's beneficial. We provide studies and research, so it gives people an opportunity to go at their own pace and determine how they want to become involved.
Well, thank you both for joining us at the forefront, and thank you to our viewers and listeners, not only for joining us at the forefront, but also for participating and supporting programs like DAPS. Without you, these wouldn't be possible. Thank you.